So my mother, she was a single parent, and let's just say she definitely raised a fighter. And just to fight, just to defend myself. I was always the small guy of them all. So just physically fighting to defend myself, verbally fighting just to get my point of view across. And my mother just raised a fighter and a provider. So that's just the type of man I am.
Good afternoon. This is Tanisha Laverne Grant with BlackInAmerica.com. Just super excited to bring to the platform one of my favorite emerging talents in the Hollywood space. You guys are going to begin to see this young man everywhere in 2022 and beyond. I have Deron J. Morgan, who is a creator and executive producer of a new web series called Nico Live. Welcome to the platform today.
Thank you for the welcome. Thank you for having me today.
Oh, you're welcome. So let's just talk a little bit about Nico Live. Like, how did Nico Live come to be?
To be honest, the company Levi in LA Films, they actually gave me a call and said, "Hey, we want you to help us out with the show." And next thing I know, I'm creating the show, me and Levi in LA Films, and it just turned into a miniseries.
Wow, creating a film or creating a web series, I should say. So like really kind of following behind the footsteps of Issa Rae with Insecure and Opera Black Girl, and all that she's done with that, starting on the web.
Definitely. Yeah.
So what is that? Go ahead, babe.
No, she was just one of the first persons who I came into mind when all of this came about.
So what's a day in a life like, for someone creating, a web series? Because I think there are so many young people, who want to come into the business. They see all of the success that people like Issa Rae are having, and they think that they can just just jump on in, throw some stuff up on YouTube and it's done. So just talk a little bit about, everything that you and your partners have gone through, just from the beginning to actually going live with it. I saw you guys had a premiere for it. I mean, I'm telling you guys, this guy is like, who's next? He is who's next.
Yeah. So, it just starts off with just writing. We sit at the writer's table. We write, we come up with our ideas. The writing part was very, very hard, especially when you're having a co-writer, because sometimes everyone doesn't see the joke, or they don't see, what you're trying to put out there. And so I had to fight. I definitely had to fight, just to get, what I want on Nico Live. It wasn't easy. It was hard, we just had to come to agreement. And once we came to agreement on things, it just ran a lot more smoother.
Deron, I'm so happy to hear that you fought for your voice and fought for your vision, because so many times we don't fight. You know what I mean? We're afraid to fight.
Yeah.
So where does that agency come from? Like, what type of family do you come from? Who instilled that type of fight like in you? That's who I want to meet. That's who I want to hear about.
Definitely. So my mother, she was a single parent, and let's just say she definitely raised a fighter. And just to fight, just to defend myself. I was always the small guy of them all. So just physically fighting to defend myself, verbally fighting just to get my point of view across. And my mother just raised a fighter and a provider. So that's just the type of man I am. Deron J. Morgan is definitely a provider. And a fighter, he just to get what he wants, yes, but definitely I'm a strong lover.
I love that. I love that. So, growing up, you talk about your mom. Like, where's your family from? Like, where are you from, Duran?
Oh, okay. So I'm originally from Southern California.
Oh,
It's a
okay. So you're an LA person.
Well, I'm right outside of LA. I'm in a city. Well, I was born and raised in a city called Riverside,
Oh,
which is
okay.
about an hour from LA and an hour from Palm Springs. It's like right in the center,
Mm,
and an hour from
okay.
San Diego. So we're next to everything. So I would definitely always travel, especially around Southern California because it's just so much out here just to see it.
California native, California native. So, I mean, you had early exposure to Hollywood and the images that were coming from, the epicenter of television and film. Who were some of your early directors that you looked up to or still look up to, actually, because we can never not have mentors and that idea of what excellent is in our space, So talk to me a little bit about, some of those directors that you looked up to, especially being someone who is a California native.
Yeah, so to be honest with you, moving to LA, I started looking up to a director producer by the name of Bentley Evan Kyles,
Mm,
and yeah, he's just he's a black male figure that I could look up to, that I do look up to, and I want to say back in 2018, he had invited me to he had an event called the Hollywood Success Formula,
mm.
and had a list of panels who was just talking, about the industry. And their printer had went down. Their printer broke down. So, he asked me if I could write his notes on the cards for him because they couldn't print them out.
What?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
Bentley. I love Bentley. I've had the opportunity to interview Bentley. And for those of you who are not aware of the gentleman that he's speaking about, Bentley is an icon and a legend. He is a creator and executive producer of Martin, which is a show that is definitely part of the cultural footprint. So I got to hear more about this story. So you wrote Bentley's notes that day. So go on about that because that's pretty fascinating.
Well, I did. One of his colleagues by Phaedra Harris, she was telling us about his event. I went to the event. I wrote his notes. I mean, I've seen the guy a couple of times in and out of Hollywood. I don't even remember. I don't even know if he knows who I am. But
It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter because it really is about speaking each other's names. You don't
yeah,
have to know each other, but we are familiar with the work that we're all doing in this space. And just to be able to sit here today, Christmas just days away and just really talk about, the gift that we all have, right? It's about
definitely,
the gift that we all have. And Bentley using his gift has made way for your gift, making way for my gift. So
definitely.
that's what it's about. So outside of Bentley, is there anybody else that you would like to speak about who has had like a major impact on your
Yeah,
decision to like
def-
to be in the space?
yeah. Definitely the Wayne brothers. I really look at
Mm,
brothers because just growing up watching them and on In Living Color, the Wayne brothers, scary movies, and just watching them and their family just create a path for themselves, versus just waiting for someone to give them a role. They
mm.
create their own roles. So they're very, very, I look up to they're very inspirational to me.
Yeah, the Wayans family. With Keenan Ivory Wayans, Marlon Wayans, Sean Wayans, Kim Wayans, and so many of them. I
So
mean, the
many,
careers that they've made for so many icons, including like Rosie Perez, Jennifer Lopez, you know what I mean, who started on In Living Color.
yeah.
I just had the opportunity last week to interview, oh my goodness, David Allen Greer. That's who I spoke with last week. He's another one that came through like that WANS, institution, for lack of better terms. So, as your career like moves forward and evolves, who would you like to work with? Like, like, who are the leading ladies, that you would like to work with or be a part of some of the projects that you have in the canon that we just haven't seen yet that you would like to cast or have casted?
Yeah, there's a lot of OGs I would like to work with.
Oh no, who are these OGs? Who are the OGs?
It's a well, I call them OGs because they've been in the game for years, 10, 20, 30 plus years.
Yeah.
Uh, Definitely Queen Latifah is an icon for me. She has my heart. She has everything. Just from just her personal life to her professional life is amazing. It's a lot of other females. Totona Jackson.
Okay.
Totona Jackson she's young. She's not an OG, but she's young. I like her work. She's on Boomerang on BET.
Oh yeah, Boomerang.
Yeah.
Yeah, executive produced, but of course Halle Berry. But I believe Halle tapped Lena. I don't know how that relationship went because Halle starred in the original Boomerang, the film,
Okay.
opposite Eddie Murphy, which was directed by and executive produced by Warrington Hutland and Reginald Hutland back in the day. So that was really good. Um, I mean, gosh, Queen Latifah.
Yeah. She's the queen. You
Yeah.
know, for her just to speak up for women rights, especially our black women. Our black women in America has been very get treated very disrespectful. They're like the number one persons in America who gets ran over,
Yeah.
talked about. And
Tell me about it.
just having a strong black voice, a woman to speak about, just women rights and, just growing up, that's all I would listen to was Queen Latifah,
Yeah. Yeah.
speaking about the black queens that we have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's so big because even as we talk about, Black women, being disrespected, one of those spaces is a Hollywood space. So, we definitely need advocates like Queen Latifah. When you think about, some of the men that you would like to work with who have blazed a trail for you, who would you like to work with, like side by side?
Oh, no doubt. The Wayne brothers, it's
Okay, we're still riding for the Wayans brothers. Is there anybody else besides that whole family? Because it's like, scores of the Wayans brothers.
there's so many people that I would like to work with. But more so I do want to stay in my lane and my path and and create have the creativity come from me
Mhm.
versus another individual. But Dwayne Johnson, he's a really good actor.
Oh yeah,
We
yeah,
said watched Pain and Gain last night, and just him, just the character that he portrayed and that he played, I thought to myself, wow, he did it, he nailed it.
I
He
gotta
nailed
see that. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that. Well, I mean, in our industry, none of us get to where we are by ourselves, right? So it takes like collective work and it takes responsibility. It takes teamwork. That's what this whole thing of life is about. This human experience is about really learning, you know,
Yes.
where our similarities are, not so much the differences, but the love and the connectivity is in the similarities. So I mean, like sitting down and working every day, on a script could be a really, really lonely process. How do you break through those moments where you feel blocked, where you feel like, you don't have anything to bring to the canvas that day? Like, how do you chip through that? I know there are times where I open up my laptop and I'm like, okay, I'm ready. And then like nothing's coming out. And I'm like, oh God, you know,
So yeah, so you definitely, for me, I can speak for me. I definitely take breaks. And
mm,
what I mean by taking breaks is, other than writing and acting, just don't put too much time into that. Maybe give myself a time, an hour or two without that day, and then go
cool.
about more other than just that. Just go out to eat, go hang out with friends, go to the bar, go surfing, go running, hit the gym,
I see
just
you on social media, man. You do it all. This brother does it all. He's like a Renaissance man. I mean, I've seen you like where you what do you call that when you're like diving from one thing on a rope and it's what's it, zip lining or something?
lining.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like this brother here, he does it all. He is not afraid to try new and adventurous things. And
I'm
that
very
makes for like a better creative actually, because you have something like unique that's yours that you can tap into.
Yeah, and that's the thing, I learned these things, I learned these physical activities, and, I learned how to play sports, just so that the more knowledge we know, just overall as the individual, it's better,
Mm, mm.
I'm he said I'm very active, so, I'm not the type that's, oh no, not me. I'm the type like, let's go get them.
Let's try it.
Where we going, no questions asked. Now I may ask questions after the fact, but I definitely enjoy having a good time. I love getting out, socializing with the people. I love people watching.
Yeah.
I like watching people have a good time, and and do whatever it is, the things that they do.
I love that. I absolutely love that. What are, in your opinion, like, what are some of the best ways an emerging filmmaker, creative like yourself, could really take advantage of the technology that exists? Because I know, like, when I was coming through, there was none of this. There was no social media. There was no internet. There was no Instagram. There was no Twitter. There was no YouTube. There was no Snapchat. There was none of TikTok, like none of this stuff. And it always baffles me too when I hear young people say, oh, well, this industry is tough and there are no opportunities. And I'm like, everything is right there for you, you guys.
Yeah, no, you are definitely right. And I think you and we come from the same era where, there was no YouTube, there was no Snapchat, there was no social media, but, now these platforms, like we have YouTube, we have IGTV, we're having
IGTV. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, we're having these platforms now where we can create and we can upload our craft on this media platforms. So I'm really thankful for that, because again, in my time, there wasn't that. And I thought to myself, I'm going to ever be an actor. I'm going to ever be a writer. Where do I start? Where do I go? And now I can start in my own backyard. I can literally start in my home and create something in my home and upload it on my home computer. And then millions and thousands of people will watch it. So I'm very thankful for today's technology. And it just made it all evens for all filmmakers. It's a fair game for all filmmakers.
I love that. Do you have a favorite cinematic style? Like F. Gary Gray. Okay, so I know when I'm watching F. Gary Gray, because F. Gary Gray loved to do these like amazing like aerial shots, right? He loves like the overhead, wide open mise en scène, you know what I mean? Like looking downward kind of thing that he does, and then Spike Lee, does that still thing, where it looks like you're moving, but you're really still. I don't even know what you call that, so like, what is your favorite cinematic style,
I don't really think I have a favorite cinematic style. I do like dirty close-ups and just dirty camera.
Dirty close-up? Wait a minute, what is a dirty close-up?
So, a dirty close-up will just be like a close-up, but maybe you could see the scene partner's back of their head, and then the close-ups on, focusing on the main actor, and he's talking, let's say, to his scene partner, and you'll just see maybe like the back of their head. So their close-up is kind of dirty because of the person's in the close-up. It's not just them.
Oh, wow. I've never heard of a dirty close-up. Wait, next time I'm on set for something, I'm like, you know what, can we try a dirty close-up? They're gonna be like, see, wait a minute, and who taught you that? Like, you've been hanging around somebody. I love that. I love that's like a dirty close-up. Now what about like, lighting technique? Like, what's the best way, to learn about lighting and composition? Because even now, we're in this virtual space, and a lot of us have bought like, ring lamps and, just trial and error, like trying to get the lighting right. How do you, like, what's the best? Let me ask this the right way. For a novel, for someone who's just starting out, trying to make like a small, like, student film, just say in their little bedroom or living room, and they just want, just a kitchen table scene. Like, how would you like that? Like, what's the name of the lights that you would even use to establish the shot?
Yeah, you know what? That is a really good question because having a good camera and lighting is everything. If you don't have good lighting, you're not gonna. I mean, the image isn't gonna come out right.
Yeah.
But no, just having great lighting is everything. But there's all type of lights. Ring lights. Me personally, I do ring lights. When I do my personal videos or my Instagram stories, I like to use my ring lights. But there's LED lights. I mean, there's all type of lights that you can use. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they will be good for every shot. So,
Right.
definitely have to play with the lighting. But yeah, good lighting is everything. It will get you really good footage.
I love that. So, we've had a lot of films come out this year. You mentioned The Rock,
Yeah.
a film. What was the name of his film that you just watched?
It was a Pain and Gain, and I want to say
Mhm.
it was released a couple of years ago. I just watched it on Hulu the other night.
Oh, wow. So, what are some of the films that came out this year? Have you seen anything from 2021, that really resonated with you? We've had so much that come out this year. I
Yeah.
mean, right
Uh,
now we're talking about King Richard and House of Gucci
oh,
and
yeah. King Richard was phenomenal. I liked the King Richard. Just to have a parent like King Richard would be everything for me. It would be for everyone. I've seen so much, but I've been watched on Harlem, which
Hmm.
on Amazon Prime. So
Yeah, I like that show.
yeah, single women dating in Harlem. It's really good because I am a feminist. Unfortunately, it's a men's world,
Yeah.
and world and corporate world and the dating world, it's just a men's world. So just seeing my sisters or just seeing a film tapped on that with the struggles that my sisters was going through was something that I kind of enjoyed because I get it, being a man of color and dating a woman of color, like I get it, I understand.
Yeah.
um, Queens, Brandy was a household name growing up, and Eve was just a household name. So the
Deron, can I just tell you, I just watched Queens
mhm,
2 nights ago.
yeah,
I'm actually scheduled to interview Naturi Naughton and Brandy after the
uh,
holiday, and I wasn't ready.
yeah, yeah,
For anyone who has not seen it, I'm not giving away any spoilers, but you have got to see Queens. And I'm so glad you mentioned that because Brandy did her thing.
yeah. As usual, like yeah, I was proud of her myself. Like, girl, you got it. You still got it. You never lost it. You got it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. This has been an amazing conversation. I mean, we've touched on so much so quickly. I mean, we talked about, the icons and the legends who have inspired you along the way. We've talked about film, we've talked about lighting. As the, Christmas holiday approaches, and they're talking about the COVID-19, the numbers are spiking again. You know, how would you like to encourage us, to maintain our peace and our positivity, during this time,
Yeah, well, you just have to just get right with yourself, You
Hmm.
really want to get right with yourself, do what's right for you. I know we are in a crisis or we're dealing with the COVID-19, and a lot of people of us of color are scared of being vaccinated. I'm not encouraging anyone to get in vaccinated, and I'm not encouraging anyone not to get in vaccinated. Just really take care of yourself, whatever that means. If that means getting vaccinated, take care of yourself, please do so,
Right.
um, that's the best way I can really encourage ones is just take care of yourself and your loved ones, but you first, because once you're taken care of, you can make sure that your other people are taken care of. So us
Oh,
to really take care of ourselves out here.
I
Yes.
love that you said you have to take care of yourself first because I know as a woman, a lot of times we put everybody else before us.
Yeah.
You often hear women say, "Oh, I will give this person my last,
My everything, my all.
my everything, my
Yeah.
all." all of that. And it's just like, well, if you're giving away your all, then what do you have for you? You
Right.
know, you have to give what is running over,
That's
what is
it.
running
It.
over.
Yes.
What is running over? Duran,
Yes.
this has been a pleasure speaking with you this afternoon. I'm so super excited for Nico Live. Before we wrap this up, again, let's just talk about like what Nico Live series is about.
Oh, definitely. So, Nico Live is a mini series. It's a web mini series. You could get it. You could watch it on YouTube. And you can also watch it on IGTV, on Nico at NicoLive.tv. And what Nico Live is about a youngster moving to Los Angeles, or a major city more so, and the city just tears him up, and he becomes this blogger. He's blogging about his experiences, which to him are really good experiences, but in reality, it shows what really had happened. So it's just a
I
so it's like,
love this. I love this.
kind of runs under comedy. It's a lot of laugh, jokes, and laughter in the film.
I love it. Anything that gives a coming of age story, or tells a story about having an experience in Los Angeles always tugs at my heartstrings, because this is a very interesting place to navigate. You guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Black in America. I love to bring you the hottest, talent, emerging talent, existing talent, icons, legends in the space in Hollywood. Duran Morgan is definitely one to watch. He's one to watch, guys. You're not going to be disappointed. Tune in to Nico Live. He just told you where you can get it. YouTube, NicoLiveTV.com, correct?
Yep.
NicoLiveTV.com. And on IG. Now, follow the IG. It's great. You guys got to tune in. If you see him in and around Hollywood, which you will, make sure you show him some love. Again, thank you, Duran, for stopping by Black in America today. You guys, Tanish Laverne.